Very good day at the airBaltic Pilot Academy Open Day. My name is Veronika Orlinika and I am the captain at airBaltic, line supervision captain at airBaltic, and from the very beginning I'm a safety manager and flight instructor at the Pilot Academy. So let me update you on the airBaltic company, so some numbers, some statistics. For now we have a single fleet of Airbus aircraft, Airbus A220-300 we operate, and as you may see the numbers of employees is growing, and now it's more than 2,515 employees already who support the operations of our company. And out of them, it's almost 1/5 pilots, which is roughly 453 pilots. And this number is composed from 207 captains and 246 first officers. For now, also I would like to mention that 95 first officers are from Pilot Academy, so that means that they finished studies in our Pilot Academy and they have joined airBaltic and successfully flying and operating our modern fleet. It's worth mentioning that actually the rate of the Pilot Academy graduates which is accepted by airBaltic company is very high. And these 95 Pilot Academy graduates actually are coming from 97 Pilot Academy graduates. So only 2 of them, due to different reasons, due to various reasons, were not accepted as the first officers for airBaltic. And at the moment we have more than 200, so about 220 cadets, which we are looking forward to accept to fly as to start their career as the first officers in airBaltic. In terms of the career, so in our company it might take about 5 years to become a captain. So you start as the first officer and then you fly and you improve your qualification, you improve your knowledge, and then you have a chance to apply for the left seat and become a captain. And you will see later on this presentation the possible career path and how many years it takes in total. We also are quite a multinational company, so as you might see, we have 33 nationalities, which manifests itself as the big diversity in nationalities, and that means that you have a great opportunity to meet different people from different countries and to understand some cultural differences and to cope with these cultural differences as well, while you are working together in one team. So it's pretty much a dynamic and interesting environment that you get to work and actually to study as well, first in Pilot Academy and then to work at airBaltic. Talking about our fleet a little bit more, so as you might know, probably we have the biggest Airbus A220-300 fleet, so and this is most modern and green in Europe. For now, we have already 47 aircraft received, and the last one, 47s, came on the Valentine's Day, actually, on the 14th of February. And this year, we expect 3 more aircraft to join our fleet. So till the end of 2024, we plan that it will be 50 aircraft at airBaltic. And as you might see on the chart on the right, so initially we had different aircraft, different types of aircraft in our fleet. So there were Boeings, we were operating turboprop, which was Dash 8 Q400. And there was a plan to switch to single fleet aircraft to improve the efficiency and to reduce the costs for the operations. And then the pandemic played its role, and as of 2020, we switched to the single fleet aircraft, flying only Airbus 220-300 aircraft. And the plan till 2029, which is our IPO and beyond plan for the company, is to have up to 100 aircraft. But of course, these options still will be revised considering the situation on the market. But for now, that's the plan, to fly up to 100 Airbus 220-300 aircraft by the end of 2029. Sorry. Number of seats varies. It depends just on the year when the aircraft came. So it might be 148 or 149. Quite impressive commercial range for this narrow-body aircraft that we have. And from my experience, so I just may say that we can bring this aircraft from the manufacturer facilities from Canada, Montreal to Riga without a single stop. And it's very efficient in terms of fuel consumption. So actually we are very happy to operate this aircraft at airBaltic. And yeah, we would be happy to see also you joining to our operations. About airBaltic Pilot Academy, why would we say you have to join Pilot Academy? So what we offer? We offer integrated airline transport pilot license program. Airline program standard, so which you will be able to complete within 24 months. So the minimum is 18 months according to regulations. And then considering all the planning and the weather-wise issues, and then for us, actually, it's more or less it takes for our students 24 months to complete the program. We have also in Pilot Academy, as we do in airBaltic, so in Pilot Academy it's also one of the modern US training aircraft along with the sims that you will have for the training. So we operate Diamond aircraft, Diamond DA 40 NG new generation and 42 NG, and the same we have of course for training in simulators. We have our airline pilots who fly in airBaltic as instructors, both theoretical knowledge instructors and flight instructors in Pilot Academy. So actually by means of that, the knowledge from the airline also is transferred from the day one to our Pilot Academy students. And we have standard operating procedures. We have also very high standards for our Pilot Academy students because we know that we are preparing them to fly for the airline. And yeah, so you get the best practices and the highest quality from our airline instructors from the day one of your studies. Last but not the least, the pilot work offer at airBaltic after successful selection process, and we will go through 2 different ways and 2 programs that we have that we can offer to you, and then at the end of both, let's say, ways or programs that you would take, you will be able to apply to airBaltic for the pilot work. Yeah, this is one of the good priorities or one of the good opportunities that you can get by joining our airBaltic Pilot Academy. Mentioning the airline pilot standard from the day one, what we want to emphasize is that we expect from you already the really serious attitude to your studies, because whom do we hire? Yeah, so from the day one, actually, we hire the future captains for the airBaltic company, for our airline. And exactly due to this reason, we expect that you are ready to study hard, to learn the theory, to learn the practical skills flying, and then to have a proper attitude to your studies. So you'll get your uniform, you'll get all the necessary equipment from our side, from the Pilot Academy, so you could perform to higher standard. But yeah, your attitude and your willingness to learn is quite important, and that's why, that's the pilot standard, airline pilot standard from day one. Minimum requirements from the program, ATPL program that we offer. So you have to be at least 18 years old. That's actually the requirement from the EASA regulation. You have to hold the European Union or European Economic Area or Swiss passport, and you have to be high school graduate. Your health should meet class 1 medical certificate requirements. So for the pilots, this is for the commercial pilots, this is mandatory to have class 1 medical certificate. So we do advise that you do the checkup of your health before you apply or before you are getting involved into the selection process for the academy, because in case for any reason you are not able to get class 1 medical certificate, so you might do something, because there are some cases when people for any reason cannot get class 1 medical certificate, then they dedicate some time to improve their health, and maybe in half a year or 1 year, so you are back to the medical check, and then you can be granted class 1 medical, so there are no hurdles, and then you can continue with the selection process and continue to fulfill your dream about becoming a pilot. But class 1 medical is the requirement for ATPL, for getting ATPL license, CPL license, like commercial pilot license, and airline transport pilot license. And that's we really advise to check in advance. Excellent written and spoken English. Also, as you probably know, that the aviation language is English language, and also you will have the test. You will have to pass the ICAO English knowledge exam. So there are different levels for the ICAO exams, and actually the minimum that you can start to work with the company, the minimum requirement is 4. And then the highest requirement, the highest mark in this is 6, which means that your English is either native language or you are very close to that. And then 4, 5, 6 is acceptable to work for work at the airline company. And then it means that you have to have the English, written and spoken English at that level at least, because you need to read the manuals, you need to understand what it's written, and you need to communicate freely with your colleagues. For us, we are flying in a team of 5. Usually we have like standard setup is 2 pilots in the cabin and 3 cabin crews, and then there should be proper communication. You have to understand each other to make sure that the work is done properly, and you can handle any situation at the high standard. Of course, you shouldn't have any criminal records, and the ability to swim is required, because one of the training parts in the airBaltic already, when you're accepted to the airline company, will be the training in the swimming pool, and that's one of the requirements that you have to be able to swim. What can improve the chances to succeed in the selection process for the Pilot Academy? Good knowledge in mathematics, physics and English. So English we kind of discussed already. The school knowledge, I mean, which you get after the 12 years in your school, if you are good at mathematics and physics at school, should be sufficient, but you always can look for some other materials available in the internet for Latvian students. I know for sure that there is the governmental site where you can check all the mathematics and physics examination papers. So the more you check, the more you prepared, the higher chances that you will pass the selection process successfully. Interest and experience in aviation also is a plus and a benefit. Interest is one thing, and the experience more goes to the applicants who are applying not right after the high school. You might have some kind of experience already working in aviation, which will be a benefit for sure, because you know how the aviation industry works, and it will also help you during your studies. And during your work, because you will understand how the different departments works, how do they collaborate, what kind of issues you can expect, and indeed this would help in your studies in Pilot Academy, and then during your work at any airline company as such. Good cognitive abilities are very important. So now about the cognitive abilities, we are talking here about the logical reasoning, decision making, and spatial orientation. So these also can be trained. You can look into the different tasks, also quite many available in the internet. So if you just Google for them, you will find. One thing that is really need your attention is decision making, because constantly during your studies, especially during the practical flying in the Pilot Academy, and then flying at the airline company, if it's airBaltic or any other airline company, the decision making is very important. So you have to be able to communicate, and you have to be able to do proper decision. You have to have also be resilient, and this resilience goes towards the mistakes which people are making from time to time during their daily jobs. So we are not robots. It's okay, it's acceptable, and then how you deal with that. Yeah, if you mentally are ready to realize that you made a mistake, and then to correct this mistake, and then to move on, so the thinking in your head wouldn't impact your ongoing activities. So this also is very important. So when we are talking about the cognitive abilities, it's really good to look into that area, and to prepare yourself and to evaluate yourself if you have good cognitive abilities, and if it will be enough for you then to work and to apply and to study and to work at the airline, or you have to work a little bit on them and to improve. Healthy and active lifestyle. Self-explaining, I would say. We need to have quite good health. I described already the requirements about the Class 1 medical. Active lifestyle, of course, helps to support your health, and again, taking into account the workload that we have at the airline. So you may get the flights in the early morning, you may get the flights in the late evening, you may fly just during the night, and then it changes or during the months, and you can feel some stress, some tiredness, and then if you have a good health and you try to support your active lifestyle, so then it helps to keep you still vigilant and fit for your duties. Positive personality traits, again, it really helps because you have to cooperate, you have to collaborate with the team, you have to work in the team while performing your duties, and if you are trustworthy, if you are honest, and if you have good and proper communication skills, then of course it all will aid to your higher chances to succeed. Selection process as such, so as I mentioned, we have two ways, two programs. One is airBaltic loan program, and the other one is self-funded option. With what we start for both programs, so this is consolidation of applications. So we expect you to send us the application, then we do the first run, first review, and reply to you if you are eligible for further testing, for further steps in our selection process. The next step, again, the same for both programs. This is English, mathematics, and physics test. And this could be done online for the airBaltic loan program. And selection process for the self-funded option, in this case you have to come on site, so we do it at airBaltic training premises. Next, for the airBaltic loan program, next two steps which are not applicable for the self-funded option is general mental abilities test and psychological assessment, which is required by the regulations. And that means that if you go for the airBaltic loan program, so then if you have a good performance and you are selected by airBaltic to work as a pilot, yeah, so these general mental abilities and psychological assessment is a must. That's why we do it at the very beginning here. For self-funded option, you have your own choice at the end of the program if you apply to airBaltic or to any other airline, and then it will be already done the step when you apply for work, when you will have these general mental abilities and psychological assessment done by the airline for you. And then the last step from the selection process is final interview and financing support. So decision on financing support depending on all the assessments for the airBaltic loan program, and just the final interview for the self-funded option with the decision if you're proceeding or not. So about the costs for both programs, also it starts the same. So for the airBaltic loan program, you have the first self-funded installment of 15,000 euros, which actually covers full ADPL theory, which consists of 13 subjects and 45 flight hours, which is more or less equivalent to the flight program for the private pilot license, if you know about that. And but we are not issuing the private pilot license in our program because we have the integrated program. So there will be only one skill test at the end of the program for both, for the airBaltic loan program and self-funded program, and it will be commercial pilot license, which is so-called airline transport pilot license, frozen one. Then for the airBaltic loan program, you continue with the after another evaluation. Yeah, so first you study the theory and you do the 45 flight hours, and then there is another airBaltic performance review. It is required for the airBaltic to understand if you have the performance at the standard of airBaltic, and they would like to continue with you as the pilot. So this will be the performance review at this point, where your knowledge, attitude and skills will be evaluated, and then the decision will be made if the airBaltic is ready to give you the loan and to continue. So the loan itself, so the amount you can see is 64,000 euros. So that's the remaining amount of the whole program minus your self-funded part. But the amount of the loan, it depends like up to you and up to airBaltic, which you can negotiate. Yeah, and if you, there are also like two ways possible. So if you take less than 20,000 euros, then there is no need to work at airBaltic. And then you just continue your studies till the end of the program. And if you need more than 20,000 euros, so then you have to do the part-time work in airBaltic, because you have to be the airBaltic employee, so the airBaltic could give you this loan. And this part-time work is kind of a 50-50, so 2 weeks you work at airBaltic, and then 2 weeks you continue your studies, also, of course, considering the days off. And at the end of the program, then you continue already to the multi-crew cooperation course and to the type rating and so on and so forth, so you have the job in airBaltic. If we talk about self-funded program, yeah, the same first installment covering approximately 12 months with the ATPL theory and 45 flight hours. And then the next part of the program you have divided into 3 installments, as you might see on the screen. So 4 months, 4 months, and 4 months, yeah, different amounts, 24, 30, and 10. And this covers all the other qualifications which you are gaining. So it's like our building on single engine piston aircraft, upset prevention and recovery training, instrument rating, multi-engine piston, then commercial pilot license, and also multi-crew cooperation course. All in all, as I mentioned before, so 24 months for both programs, just, I mean, the way, 2 ways that are possible for you is this with airBaltic loan program and just fully self-funded program. For both options, the CAA exams, which you need to take for 13 theoretical subjects, the initial first-class medical and the 1 renewal of this medical, because it expires in 1 year, so 1 renewal will be required within 24 months. All the study materials, all the equipment, and the uniform are included into the study costs. For the self-funded option, there is no bond with the airline after finishing the studies. And selection process, as you might see, so consists only from these 3 steps comparing to the loan program, which also includes another 2 steps about the cognitive ability testing and psychology test. After the graduation for the self-funded option, you still can go by a selection process at airBaltic if there are pilot position openings at airBaltic, and airBaltic will give Pilot Academy graduates the priority over the external candidates, which might apply. For the loan program, as I mentioned, there is another performance review after you successfully pass the ATPL theoretical exams, and if required, yeah, if the loan is more than 20,000 euros, so you will be planned accordingly for the work at airBaltic and training, so it's 50-50%. Position for the work at airBaltic will be selected based on your knowledge, based on your previous experience. Whenever airBaltic will see that you will be efficient or you will be useful in which position, so they will offer you this position, and in this position you will need to work for 9 months. Yeah, so keep in mind that you will not be able to quit this position earlier. So even if your flight training is finished before that 9 months, so still you will need to work 9 months in airBaltic, and only then you will be released for your further program for the company conversion course and type rating course and studies and work as the first officer. A loan repayment will start only after your initial line check at FO base level. So what does it mean? It means that you will have your type rating, you will have your company conversion course, you will be released to fly as the first officer on the airline, and first at least 40 sectors according to airBaltic program you fly as the first officer under supervision with the line supervision captain. And then there is this line check at which the decision is made if you could be released to fly on the line as the commercial pilot. And then if you are successful, then after this line check, so exactly the loan repayment will start, not earlier. Starting dates for the group at Pilot Academy. So now, as you might see, we have 4 groups this year. So the first one already started on February 5th. And now upcoming is the group PA22, which will start in April 10th. And another one September and November. So there are still 4 vacant places available in April group, and since the selection process, I mean, it might take from 2 weeks up to 2 months, depends on various reasons. So if someone is ready, so you still can apply now and be already start your studies at the Pilot Academy in April's group. What our airline pilot standard integrated ATPL course consists of these 24 months. So actually you have the theoretical part, and as you can see from the screen, so around 150 hours classroom studies with instructor, then computer-based training. Actually you will be given your iPads, and there will be all the materials available, and you will have instructor available if you have any questions. So then you go through all the materials, you learn all the materials, and this is so-called computer-based training. And of course you have the self-study, so you can use all the materials you have on your iPads. You may also look into the books which you will find, and this is the part of the self-study, and these are these 13 ATPL subjects that you have to finish. Then you will have the exam, theoretical exam in Pilot Academy, and then you will take the same 13 exams at CAA. It doesn't mean that you have to spend the whole time studying theory without flying. So we are integrating the flying part into the theoretical part. Actually, the theoretical part is split into the 3 modules. And it depends at what time you start. We fly actively in spring, summer, and autumn. And then there's like the flying is a little bit less active in winter. It depends on weather very much here in Latvia, and we try to do so that when you finish your first theoretical model, you have your exams in CAA, and then you start flying, and then flying and theory is done in parallel. Flying-wise, you have single-engine piston training flights on Diamond 40 NG aircraft, so around 155 hours. You have the training in the flight navigation training device, so both 40-42, around 60 hours, and multi-engine piston training flights on Diamond 42-6. UPRT, this upset prevention recovery training, 8 hours only, and this is the mandatory part of the pilot training, which we offer to take in UK. So in United Kingdom we have a partner school. We send our students for 3-4 days, approximately up to 1 week it could take. For the upset prevention and recovery training. So you fly 8 hours there with the instructors who have the airBaltic qualification, and then you are coming back to Latvia. Then airline pilot standard multi-crew cooperation course, which is 45 hours, and that's the last step then in your program at the Pilot Academy. And this program is kind of a bridge, to close the gap between flying on this single-engine piston aircraft and multi-engine piston aircraft, and flying the commercial aviation aircraft, which again teaches you how to work with the procedures according to airline standards, and how to work in a team, because when you are flying in single engine and multi-engine, you are kind of pilot in command, and you make all decisions, and when you're alone at the aircraft, then it's only all up to you. Yeah, and when you move to the commercial operations, so you have 2 pilots in the flight deck, and then you have to make all the decision together, and then you have to know how to cooperate. airBaltic Pilot Academy Diamond Fleet, we have operational bases mainly in Liepāja and Ventspils, and we do some flights from Riga. For now we have 9 aircraft available. 1 more aircraft is joining our fleet this year, so we will have 10, and depending on the growth and requirements, like on the demand on the market for the pilots from airBaltic, we may grow up to 15 aircraft in 2029 for the Pilot Academy. Talking about the airline pilot demand, so you would see the figures. So it's not just the words. Pilot demand from the company, from the airBaltic. Now you've seen the numbers, so we are roughly 453, and actually we plan to be 480 by 2024, by the end of 2024. And taking into account the growth plans that we have, the development plans in airBaltic, by the end of 2029 there should be 700 pilots in airBaltic. And on the right side, so you see the chart for the cadets joining the airline, and for 2024 we plan that 48 cadets all in all will join airBaltic, and this number of course grows with the years going forward, considering the airBaltic demand in pilots. Pilot career, what you will get from that, considering the investment that you will do, you will make. So what you can see, the first year for the first officer, these figures are indicative. Yeah, it may change, it may vary, but more or less, so these are the amounts you can expect. And when you start as the FO0, so this is the base level initially, so you may expect around 26.8k euro net on your account as a salary. Then you move within this first year of employment to the FO level 1, and it depends on your agreement where you move to this salary level. So it's could be 300 hours after your first line check, or somehow different. So you have the 36.8k on your account. Then for the first officers, the salary increase is on yearly basis up to first officer level 3. So each year you will have the increase in salary. And in between 3rd and 5th year, you will have the opportunity, when you have the proper qualification and number of hours and good performance, you will be able to apply for the senior first officer position, which is your next step actually towards the left seat, towards the captain seat in the company. As soon as there is the opening for the captain position, so being SFO, senior first officer, you can apply for the captain position, and then starting from 5th or 6th year, so this is according to statistics in our company, you will be upgraded to the captain position, and it will be captain salary level 1, so 60.5k. And the captain's salary is increased each 2nd year. So in 2 years, then it will be captain 2 level, and in 3rd year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it will be from 5th year, so captain level 3 salary. Worth mentioning that after you worked already in airBaltic for 1 year, there is a possibility, and there are quite many opportunities also to take the additional duties. So actually the career development in airBaltic is available for you as horizontally as vertically. And there are quite many interesting projects in which you can participate, so-called pilot projects, and then you also gain both knowledge and money for participating in these projects. And of course, growing your knowledge, growing your expertise also allows you to apply for training captain's position, line supervision captains, type rating instructors, and so on and so forth. So, additional benefits for the flight crews, we have unlimited home leave tickets, which could be interesting for the employees like pilots who live outside of Latvia. So you have these home leave tickets. Then we have ID leisure travel tickets, which are available for the employees and their partners, spouse, and children up to 24 years old. In this case, you pay only the airport fees and taxes, so it's less expensive if you would buy the normal ticket. Just we have to be very careful when it's busy season. Of course, these tickets have lower priority than the full fare passenger tickets. We have paid vacation 20 days per year, and all training costs, validation, medical, visas costs are covered by airBaltic when you are airBaltic employees. Also, after 1 year of employment, we have insurance like loss of license insurance up to 100,000 euros compensation. So if anything happens, if you lose your license due to health issues or something else, then the decision is taken, and a certain amount is paid, and this compensation is up to 100,000 euros that you can get. We have health insurance, very good one, and with different options, and accident insurance 24/7. Our students are joining from different countries, pilot academy. So, and of course, we are keen to see more blue regions on the map that you can see all over Europe, and not only Europe. And also we are welcoming the cadets from Latvia. So not all municipalities are presented yet, but we are looking forward also to cover this map all in blue very soon. We are represented on social media, so you may see the list of the sources that you can follow and contribute into. So do not hesitate to check what is happening and what are ongoing developments there. And with this, that was the conclusion for the general information that we wanted to present to you. And now there will be the questions and answers session on slido.com. You can log in using the code hashtag Pilot Academy 0324. And we will take a small break, about 5 minutes, and then during this time you can put your questions into the slido.com, and we will be happy to come back and answer these questions. Thank you for your attention. Welcome back to our question and answer session. So I already see the questions. Thank you very much for those. And let's start. What can be expected from the interview after the theoretical training? And is it a full assessment or simply a review of the performance so far? After the theoretical training for the loan program, it's not a full assessment. It's the assessment of your performance, like knowledge, attitude, and skills. Sorry. And a psychological assessment and management interview. So, and then based on this, the decision is made by airBaltic if you are eligible to continue on the loan program. How many microwaves are there in Pilot Academy? So we have several bases. So in Riga, actually, at airBaltic training, we have at least 2 microwaves, according to my knowledge. And should be 1 or 2 available in Liepāja. Not really in briefing at the airport in Ventspils, but you will have most probably this somewhere in the apartment or in the hotel. It says that after 9 months you can start working for the company. First, is this mandatory? Second, which types of jobs can be done? And third, will it affect study overall time? Yeah, if you are on the airBaltic loan program and then after performance you are assigned the loan, and this loan is more than 20,000 euros, so then it is mandatory to start work at the company, because otherwise this amount of money cannot be given. More than 20,000 euros. Then as to the types of jobs, this will be assigned or offered according to your knowledge, expertise in any areas and qualifications. And it might affect your overall study time, because as I mentioned before, so it's 50-50, yeah? So you still need to work then in airBaltic like 2 weeks and 2 weeks you study. It depends how fast was your progress with the theory, and how fast was your progress with the flights. But yeah, it might affect the study overall time. What is your ICAO English level? Mine is 6. You mentioned pilot projects. Could you give an example? Yes. We have different pilot projects, and then it's like up to 16 hours per month. We are assigned to certain duties that we could do for the company, either helping with the training programs at airBaltic training for the airline pilots. Or, for example, nowadays we have the project for testing certain software which would help to make our flights efficient, to get rid of paper documentation, and then we do these tests. I mean, we test this application, we test this software during the flight, we provide the feedback, and then these are kind of ongoing projects. These projects are really interesting to participate in. And yeah, I kind of warmly advise to participate in these projects as well, because this also kind of broaden your knowledge and your expertise in aviation industry, and helps understand also the work of other departments that we have in airBaltic. What happens if you do not pass the interview and airBaltic doesn't give you a loan, but you cannot pay for the training? Would you have to leave the academy? If you don't pass the interview, so no loan from airBaltic, yeah, it's up to you. I mean, you have to understand first the reason why you didn't pass the interview. I would say, yeah, you will stop your studies at this point of time, or if you can correct certain, I mean, the reason, and you see that you may be better and you want to self-fund and continue the study, so you may look for other options. Actually, you can go to other financial institutions and see if you can borrow money there, and you can pay for your training. Then continue. But yeah, it's up to you. How long would it take to pay for the loan while flying for airBaltic? You pay back, I mean, the maximum time is 5 years. And if you are able to pay back it earlier, so there is no limitation, so you can pay back this loan earlier. But the maximum period of time that you have to pay it back is 5 years. And yeah, what about type rating financial part if you join airBaltic? For the type rating, you do not have to pay physically, but you still will have the so-called bond agreement with the airBaltic, and this bond agreement is for 3 years. So it means that as you join the airBaltic as the first officer, you have to work at airBaltic for 3 years to cover the type rating costs. Are students in the initial selection process of applications treated equally no matter which funding option they choose? Yeah, simple answer is yes. Hi. I know that the study pace is fairly intensive. Yes, it is. And what will happen if I, during the first phase, let's say, cannot keep up with the studies and fail many exams? Yeah. Sometimes it happens, and then in this case, actually, you have at least 2 tries, additional tries to prepare and to pass the exams, and then it first be at the pilot academy. So until you will not pass the exam at the pilot academy, we will not release you to the exam at CAA. So, and then after the third time, if you fail the third time, then it will be looked into case by case individually, yeah, to find what are the reasons, and then we will offer you the proper course of actions in this case. Would the loan be subtracted from the salary that you have mentioned, or is it already included? Yes, the loan will be subtracted from the salary, but only from the salary when you, after your first line check, successful line check as the first officer. So it will not be subtracted from your salary when you work part-time in airBaltic before you get the first officer job. How does a layover looks like? What are the destinations and how many hours do you stay there? On average now, I mean, as airBaltic pilot, as a captain, we fly 60 to 70 hours per month. Then half of this time is layover time. So when we go to other bases and we stay there for up to 5 to 6 days, and it's really different because you may fly each and every day being on the layover, or you may have 3 days of flying and 2 days of being off there at these destinations. The destinations are all over the Europe. I mean, you can check it on the airBaltic map. So we really fly all these destinations that are presented there. And yeah, in terms of hours, yeah, these are these full days. But I mean, all these hours will still be within the regulations, and these are properly tracked by our crew dispatch and rostering department. Could you tell something about accommodation during the study? Yes. We do not provide the accommodation, so you have to think about accommodation in advance. If you're not from Latvia, not from Riga, so both for Riga, and then the same for Liepāja, Ventspils, and United Kingdom as well. But we have certain options, and we can help you with these options. So in Liepāja, we can offer some dormitories. In Ventspils, we have partner hotel, and the same for Riga. So we have partner hostel, so where you can get the better costs, actually better prices. Given that many cadets come from outside of Latvia, will it be possible to visit home sometimes? And can cadets book standby tickets as well? Yes, and our training coordinators usually are booking the tickets for our cadets. So from time to time, you will be able to go back home. I hope it answers the question. I have like some additional information now coming. Just give me a second from the colleagues here. So Christmas, Easter, but you must be back on time for studies. Yeah, which makes sense. Absolutely. Thank you. Is the initial medical certificate also covered by the company? Yes. Can I become a pilot if I have expunged criminal record? Yeah, if this kind of already expired, you have the document. Kind of the question is what kind of criminal record it is, but then you can submit it to the, to Pilot Academy for the evaluation process, or just send it and ask, if you will be accepted. So because this is also kind of an individual case, and we need to look into this case to answer your question. Can you start as first officer directly after finishing the program, or there are some waiting lists? Yeah, it's according to the needs of the company. And then you are scheduled when you finish your program as the cadet at Pilot Academy to start. Usually it's like within 2 to 4 months. So you start in the airBaltic, but also it depends on the low season, high season, because it's just the matter of resources available for you to be trained. Does the training cost 79k euro include VAT? As the educational organization, we are actually exempted from VAT. So this is the amount without VAT, and this is the amount that you're expected to pay. Einar, if I already work as an air traffic controller in Norway, are there any benefits regarding selection process, etc.? I believe this is one of your competitive advantage, I would say. So because you have experience already in aviation industry, and then it, the selection process should go for you like smoother and easier. The salary presented is what we get after we pay the monthly installment, or it's from where we have to pay it. Which monthly installment you mean? Hard to understand for me. How much will be deducted monthly and for how long? Yeah, most probably this is about this airBaltic loan which you get, which will be deducted only from your salary when you start your work as the first officer at airBaltic. And the maximum period of time you have to pay it back is 5 years, so it will be calculated accordingly. And then it depends on the amount, how much on a monthly basis the deduction, how big the deduction will be on a monthly basis, I would say. And of course, the salary as such, also the structure of the salary has been changed couple of years back, so that there is enough money for normal living, after the deduction. Yes, you have at hand. If I work as a cabin crew for another company now, can I work during the training as a cabin crew as well? And do I have to do another training, and for how long? If you mean that you want to become a pilot working now as a cabin crew, so it will be pretty much tough to combine your work with the theoretical part of training. So we wouldn't recommend to work in parallel, but then as soon as you finish your theoretical training of the course, then you can combine your work with the flight studies, with the practical flying. I have an ICAO commercial pilot license with frozen ADPL issued by CEA ASL. I am Sri Lanka citizen, but I have Italian visa and identity card. Is there any course to me in airBaltic? As to the frozen ADPL, So you have already the license, so that might be the case that this license should be converted. But then it means that you do not want to apply for the pilot academy, you are more into the work at airBaltic already. So then we have openings in airBaltic for the job, and then you may apply, and then you will get the answer from the airBaltic HR what needs to be done in course of that. And yeah, still you have the resident permit in European Union, and you have to work in European Union. But yeah. So as far as I see, you still have the Italian identity card. So it's more the question to airBaltic Human Resources department than to us at the moment. When will the open day be held offline? So we have on-site open days usually each and every second month, right? Yeah, so April 5th, I have an answer from the team here. So yeah, 5th of April will be the open day, on-site open day, so you're welcome to join. If I'm not a European Union citizen, am I able to apply to academy? Yeah, I mean, that's the same, so you still can apply, but you need to have the residence permit, which is the expiration day for this residence permit is for 2 years from now. So you have to be able to stay in Europe and to finalize your studies at the pilot academy here. And yeah, unfortunately, we cannot provide any assistance for that. We are not eligible of doing this in providing some support for getting the residence permit in European Union. So it's on your own. You mentioned that 95 out of 97 have been accepted. Was this after the full course or after the interview during training? We had a little bit different programs and offering the structures, but actually that's the 97 graduates we had so far who finished the programs, and then 95 of them have been accepted to airBaltic, if it's answering your questions. Trip to Great Britain for recovery training, upset recovery training does include to the price of studying. So trip to Great Britain, we provide you with the tickets to fly there. You need to cover the costs of living there, and yeah, again, we have some partners and we have some options to offer you, so to reduce the cost of living there in Great Britain for this part of the course. If I choose self-funded program, I have the same chance to get a job at airBaltic as a loan program student if I will be a good student and will pass everything. Chances are the same. You will know it at the end of the program, because those who are on the loan program, then they have the answer before they continue for the second part of the after the first 12 months when they have this airBaltic performance evaluation. So they actually know at this point in time, and then they continue their studies. And you will know it when you apply for the airBaltic position at the end of the program. Do you have spots to join to the April group? Yeah, for now we have still some spots open. I think it's up to 4 now. But yeah, the selection process now also is in progress. So these 4 spots can fill up pretty much quickly. So if you would like to apply, don't hesitate and send your application. What percentage of students finish the training? To my knowledge, actually, there were only a couple of students who did not finish the training, and there was due to health issues, actually, so they had to stop the training, and one student just understood that, yeah, the pilot job is not suitable for him. So the resilience and the stress resilience was not at the level which would be required. So the decision was from his side to stop. What percentage of the graduate pilots ended up working for airBaltic? That we had you can calculate the percentage. 97 is 100, 95 is this X that you are looking for. And if any, why didn't end up working for airBaltic? I would say that the reasons were like the performance and the attitude. So they just didn't pass the performance review from the airBaltic side, so their performance was not up to airBaltic standards. Is it true that from 97 PA graduates, 95 are working in airBaltic? Yes, it is. It is approximately 100%. Sounds good. Yeah, I mean, that's true, and I will tell you why. Because during the selection process, we have really thorough selection process, and if we take 200 applicants who applies to the pilot academy, actually at the end of the selection process, out of these 200, there are 12. But I mean, also I do not want to frighten up you with these numbers, yeah, but because if you do not try, I mean, you're also like are out. So, and again, as I mentioned already during the presentation, so we hire future captains for the airBaltic, for our airline company, and that's why we are very thorough with the selection process and evaluation process of our applicants. I'm a Russian citizen and I live in Latvia. I have a resident permit. Can I apply for your academy? No worries, I don't support my government and the war. Yeah, okay, we put the politics aside, but if you have the residence permit and it will cover, will not expire during your studies in pilot academy, so then yeah, you can apply. Is there any possibilities that you will need an apartment in both Liepāja and Ventspils at the same time? Yeah, I cannot exclude this possibility, but we try to plan the training so that, I mean, the training parts, I mean, first you do your dual flights and then it will be the consequent hours that you flight mostly out of Liepāja, and then the next phase of your flight program, for example, is solo flights and night VFR flights, and then you do it from Ventspils. So it will not be like one day you have to, or whatever, 1 week you have to fly from Liepāja and the next week you're flying from Ventspils, and then it kind of changes vice versa. But still, if it happens, then we have the option for Ventspils to stay in the hotel for very cheap price if needed. What if you get the loan but not get accepted in the company? How would the repayment be done in this case? Actually, this is not possible because you will not get the loan if you will not pass the company evaluation. So as soon as you are accepted by the company, then it means that you are eligible for the loan, and then you continue your studies, and then that's it. Do you have students who are not European Union, European Economic Area or Swiss citizens? Actually, I do not possess now at the moment this information. Yeah, my colleague is typing, then maybe I will now see the answer on the screen. Just give me some seconds. One with long-term residence permit. So yeah, thank you for your help. So 1. Wow, how old are you? If it's not a secret, it's absolutely not a secret. I will turn in a week 47 years old, and actually myself, I started my pilot career when I was, I started my training when I was 37, and I started my first job as the pilot in airBaltic when I became 40. Pretty much happy about that. So yeah, I encourage you also to fulfill your dream if you have the real dream to become a pilot. Yeah, and it's kind of course, we are limited with the 65 years old till we can work in the commercial aviation. But still, I mean, yeah, you kind of evaluate your possibilities, and then you make your choice. Regarding the cabin crew question, is cabin crew one of the jobs that can be done at airBaltic after being accepted to the company, or are the jobs limited to office work? No, I mean, if you have the expertise working in cabin crew, yeah, you can work as cabin crew part-time as well. For example, the group has 16 students. How many of them get a loan and how many of them study on self-funded option? Okay, I don't have this information in mind, but waiting. Depends on the group, but most of them get the loan. That's the answer I get on the board. And some students want to pay themselves. Yeah, I mean, that's the answer. Is it possible to enter your academy if I don't have physics in my high school diploma? However, I know physics and I have natural science there. Yeah, of course, because actually we do not look into the grades in your examination papers. We run you through our tests, and then this is the most important part of the assessment. So that's the assessment on our sites that we perform and make a decision upon. I'm just asking, I'm from Russia. Due to the world situation right now, sanctions and etc., a lot of academy and universities just do not accept Russians. So again, if you live in Latvia, Lithuania, or any other European countries, you have the residence permit, which will cover your stay in our country for the time of studies. I believe you can apply. And some additional information is coming up. Send email, and yeah, we will look into your case if you have some doubts. How fast did you become a captain yourself? Yeah, good question. Actually, it would take me 3 years to become a captain, because I started in 2017. And just before the pandemic, I had all the hours and qualification along with performance to apply for the captain position. But then instead of the job opening for the captain position, the pandemic came, and we ceased our operations in 2020, March 17th. So at this point in time, you know what the situation was. Almost half of the pilots have been cut from the airBaltic, and then some were even downgraded captains to the senior first officers, because there was no need in so many captains and first officers in the company. I was lucky still to stay in the company, and then I continued my work as the first officer flying. And at the first opportunity, when we gained back and started to grow again. So at the first opportunity, I was in the first group for the captain upgrade and did it to the captain. So actually it took me 5 years because of pandemic. Every student flies to Great Britain for recovery trainings? Yes. How the airBaltic assessment after the finishing of studies looks like? So it's it depends again on the program. So if you are on the airBaltic loan program, it's not on when you are finishing the studies. Yes, it's before the second half of the studies that you do. So you just your knowledge, attitude and skills are assessed, because actually when you are doing your theoretical part and flying part, the first one, you get the progress checks, you get the evaluation and assessment from your instructors, and there are special so-called KSA knowledge, attitude and skills assessment sessions. So all this is evaluated, so considering your performance, and then this psychologist and management interview. So and then on this basis, these are questions which are asked. Whatever the management interview, why do you want to become a pilot, and what brought you there, and then psychologist has his own questions or her own questions. So there are some tests that you need to fill in, and then there is the evaluation. And then based on these evaluations, so you just proceed forward. And for the self-funding, I mean, I would say that will be the same if you would apply for the airBaltic job at the end of your program. So there is no difference. The difference is just in time. May you say the average age of students at PA? The average, no, but actually these are from 18 years old till 42. So the eldest applicant now is 42 years old, and the youngest is 18 according to requirement. Hi, how much does it cost to become a pilot in your academy? So this question we had. How much time of the theoretical is distance learning? No, nil, kind of, because you have to be on site. And then just for self-studies, sometimes you spend it at home. But I mean, it's like during 1 week, you can be the whole week on at airBaltic training. Then a couple of days you're studying at home, and then you are back on site at the airBaltic training in Riga. UBRT is in the UK. Is this trip self-funded, or does airBaltic the training costs cover this part of training? I think this question we had already. When do you advise to get a medical? Is it possible to get in Latvia? Yes, and we do advise it to do this medical before you apply for the selection process, just to make sure that you are fit for pilot job. And in Latvia you can do it in 2 medical institutions. So this is Aviamet, which is not far from airport, and this is the Premium Medical Clinic. They are also certified to do the initial medical assessment for class 1. What car do you have? I think that's kind of a private question. Yeah, but I drive BMW X2. What is the exact date for PA 23 class starting in September? It was September 11th. 64,000 euro loan is with the 10% commission included. So it's not commission, it's not included, it's just like 64. And then when you pay it back, so there is this 10% administrative fee that will be added on top of this 64 case. What are the chances for older students to be elected for the loan program and later on to be employed by airBaltic? I would say that the age doesn't matter here. It's more about your performance, about your attitude, about your skills. Say in their late 30s or early 40s, so yeah, discussed already. So I've started just when I was 36. 37. May you tell us the story during flight when you were nervous, maybe due to the weather? You know, I would say that, I mean, we are short of time, but just as one of the examples, you do not get nervous. You are trained well here in airBaltic, and we have simulator sessions twice per year. Where we trained for all the emergencies, and the standard of the training is really high at airBaltic, so you feel the responsibility for your crew and for your passengers, and you do your job. And then, yeah, if you want to be a little bit nervous, then you can, yeah, do it after the flight. So how many Diamond airplanes will be in Ventspils and how many in Liepāja this year? We plan 3 aircraft in Ventspils and 7 in Liepāja. If I entered at PA, even on self-funded program, it means that I have a good chance to become a airBaltic pilot? Yeah, simple answer is yes. What age range are the PA Academy students? We had this question before. Can I use the free tickets to go home during the training? Do you have ID discounted tickets with another partner companies? What is relevant to ID tickets, to which you will be eligible, if I'm not mistaken, after 6 months working at airBaltic as the first officer. We have quite a lot code-share agreements like with the other airlines, and actually these ID tickets cover some. So you just check on our ID travel portal what you can get. For some tickets you need to pay, for some tickets not. But I mean, again, so I'm not too much into details, but there are some opportunities. And as to the free tickets to go home, only to go home, and for family to come to family day. So it's, yeah, kind of a limited number of free tickets that you can get. Does the Academy provide any kind of platform in order to prepare for the assessment? No, but yeah, if one do some search on the internet, so you will find a lot of materials available how to prepare for the airline assessment, so it's more or less standard. What you can recommend for students, maybe some tips to successfully finish studying and get a job at airBaltic. Guys, take it serious from the first day of your studies, and discipline and attitude and willingness to learn and to study the whole life, yeah, because one thing is the pilot academy, and the other thing that you will continue your learning process each and every day flying with your colleagues and learning new systems and learning new types of the aircraft and emergency situations and so on and so forth. So being in aviation, that's the continuous process of learning each and every day, the whole your life while you are here. Which level of difficulty are questions in entry test, and which kind of topic will be on test from math and physics? I would say that it's comparable to what you can see in the examination for the 12th grade of the high school. What clothes and accessories includes to the airBaltic uniform? Every student wears the same clothes. Yeah, we wear all wear the uniforms. All the students wear the uniforms. There is the regulation, uniform regulation, what you may and what you may not have or wear. And this is like trousers, shorts, tie, epaulets when you get them, yeah, belt, shoes. Yeah, and so yeah, this is more or less that's it. And jackets, of course, winter jackets you will also get. Please, I want to know how I can write EASA Part 66 module exam. I'm studying aviation transport in Riga Technical University. Okay, what do you mean by EASA Part 66 module exam? Maybe not my question, sorry. I mean, if you have this particular question, I mean, you can write to Pilot Academy. If they have some recommendation to you, they will answer, and because this is more for technicians rather than for the pilots. So, do you afraid of very, very strong turbulence? Never experienced one very, very strong turbulence. We do not have actually flying over Europe, so it's more for the Asia and yeah, oceanic treks, but we know how to deal with it. Again, we are trained for that. And we are not flying into severe, extremely severe turbulence. We are not allowed to do so. How to prepare for interview properly? May you give any tips to preparing? Yes, just be yourself. Yeah, that's the main tip that I can give you. And do not pretend to be someone else, and yeah, be honest at the interview, and the interview will go well. Do you like living in Riga against another European cities? Actually, I'm local, I'm Latvian, so yeah, I like living in Riga, but I do like to go to other European cities and the destinations that we have. And I do value that we have the opportunity to spend some time there and to find more about other people and cultures. And all this on the company expenses while you are doing your job. 24 months of training is sufficient for someone who will work 50-50 during the training. Will it take longer to finish? Also, I think we had this question. It might take longer to finish if you also work in parallel in airBaltic. But it's case by case. Do you have a lot of students who are lower than 20 years old? Yeah, we have quite many applicants who came just after finishing their high school. Do students have to fund living expenses while training, housing, insurance? Yes. So living expenses is covered by you. If you left airBaltic before 3 years, what will be with type rating bond? You have to pay it back, the remaining amount, so it will be calculated how many years you have worked in airBaltic, and then what is the amount missing, so you have to pay it back if you leave earlier. It should be fully covered or partially according to time flown in Baltic. Yeah, I just provided you the response. Do you help with finding a flat with good price in Riga? Flat, yeah, apartment. You mean maybe you will be able, to ask for some advice. If we have, we will be happy to advise something, but I mean, general advice you will get from us, but then maybe from some from ex-PA students would be even in a position to give you a better advice and assistance in that. Yeah. When flying to Dubai or the Canary Islands and the longer flights in general, how long are the layovers there? Dubai could be very short, so you arrive just in the morning because that's the night flight there, and then the next day you are already flying to Vilnius, and from Vilnius to Tenerife the next day, and the next day from Tenerife back to Riga. So then it means that you are flying almost each and every day. So Canary Islands, usually that's the layover for 5 days mostly, and then you fly 3 days, and then you are more or less off 2 days, so you have a couple of days off there. Can you work as cabin crew during the loan program even though you haven't been cabin crew before but fulfill the requirements? If you fulfill the requirements, yes, why not? Self-funded students don't have an interview after 9 months of studying as a loan student. No, they don't. Where are you flying next time? I have the Tallinn layover next time. I'm flying to Tampere, Amsterdam, and Vilnius. I already have a class 1 medical which I paid for myself. Is there a chance to get some money for that as well, because other cadets get their medical from you? Yes, you may apply for the compensation from us if you are accepted. And then what salary can I expect while on the loan program? Does it depend on the type of job? Yeah, it depends on the type of job, of course. I have a standard pass in maths, grade 4 UK, and stronger standard passes in science, grade 5. Am I still a viable candidate as long as I pass the test exams? I would say that you have to apply, and then, I mean, it's our tests that we provide to you. So if you do the math and physics according to our standards, so yeah, you will be, you will pass the greetings from 1 to 995. Thank you very much. That's the approach frequency in Riga. I am 42 now. How realistic is that I could apply for Pilot Academy? Is there any age restrictions? So no age restrictions actually. 42, we have now one cadet also 42 years old. The restriction is only, as I mentioned, yeah, commercial aviation. You can work in commercial aviation only till 65. So the day you turn 65, you are retired. But you still can continue, by the way, as a flight instructor, so there are no limitations for that, as the theoretical knowledge instructor, as the type rating examiner, or simulator flight instructor. So there are many opportunities after that, so the life doesn't end at this point. It's just only for commercial aviation at 65 years old. And I would say it's up to you. Yeah, if you feel that you want to be there in aviation and you have the funds and the guts for that, yeah, you should try. But keep in mind, yeah, there is a certain investment, and yeah, you need to find the job and kind of to have the payback on this investment. And the older you get, yeah, the less years you will be able to work in commercial aviation. But as I mentioned, myself, I started at 40 to fly for commercial aviation. I'm now 47. I'm really happy that I did it. Are you instructor at airBaltic? Yeah, for now I am the flight instructor at airBaltic. I am the flight instructor at airBaltic Pilot Academy, and I am line supervision captain at airBaltic. Self-funded students can work as a loan program students during flying lessons. Yes, if you want, you can work, but again, we do not recommend to work during the period while you are acquiring theoretical knowledge. So after the theoretical knowledge, if you feel that you can still keep the same performance and you have capacity to combine your flying studies, flying lessons with the work, whatever you find, either it's airBaltic or any other company, yeah, why not to try? Can I invite my relatives on event of starting the studying at PA if I will be successful and enter? Yes, sure. We have the usually big events arranged when the Pilot Academy group starts, and this is conducted at the Baltic training. And there are also family days to fly your family with the Diamond aircraft, actually. I think it's once or a couple of times per year, yeah? Once, 2 times per year, yeah. So 2 times per year, so you can even invite your family and give them a fly out. What languages do you speak? I speak Russian, Latvian, English language, and a bit of German. How much money I need for a comfortable living in Riga? Yeah, it really depends. The comfortable level of living for each individual is different. Hard to say for me. If you do not need the apartment, I would say up to 500 euros per month should be sufficient. I mean, I'm looking at my colleague now to help me. But yeah, really hard to say. It depends on what you need in Riga. If you need apartment, you do not need apartment. If you live close to the living area, training area, or you need to commute all the time, whatever, from the border of the city. Now the colleague is typing. Nope. Yeah, so apartment 500, and then for food also some 300, 500. Yeah, more or less as I told. If I have 6 siblings, can I invite them on the event of starting of studies? Yes. Thank you for your time and all the information. Thank you for your time as well, and I hope we will see you at the starting event for any of PA groups that are upcoming, and I wish you all the best, and I wish you courage, and I encourage you to apply for the airBaltic training if your dream is flying. Bye. I hope I will join your academy. Perfect. Thank you.